Peace and love. Sister Nzinga here from Flowing and Growing with Sister Nzinga. Here to bring you another video. This is our Talk About It Tuesday. Here we go. Let's talk about it. This is a place where we have taken the word think and created an acronym to say think it ain't illegal yet. The THINK is taking hold of and implementing new knowledge. Not just information that you get from me, but new knowledge that you hear from whatever. You have to implement it or it's no good. Okay, you have to implement that new knowledge, which will make a change in your life and will help you to emancipate yourself from mental slavery, which is our goal. We must emancipate ourselves from mental slavery because we're in a mess. We're in a mess. So anyway, thank you for being here today. Thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you to everyone who likes, shares, and comments. Please talk black to me in the comments. Share the video and then click on the notification bell where you will be able to be notified every time that I make a video. But if you don't do that, still remember every Tuesday, Sister Nzinga implements a new video. Thank you so much. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about it. I got some deep things to talk about. This shit is deep. Okay, I'm telling you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about something that I learned recently, but I'm not going to talk a lot about it because I want you to follow through and check out this information for yourself because I haven't done enough research for me to be able to say it, but it made me think, and it's making me think so much that I just want to just share a little bit of it. And it's talking about what if the slave Atlantic slave trip venture that they said, what if that's a lie too? Because we know we've been lied about a lot of things. What if that was a made-up story? What if the Underground Railroad was a made-up story? And the only thing I'm going to tell you is that check out this brother named Dame Calloway. He's on YouTube. He has a story. So, because if the thing about it that makes me think is that, well, this could possibly be true. Because if you think about it, they say, they use the word slave ships. And in the time that they said that they brought these slaves over here, there were no ships. There were just boats. We used to carve the boats out. Whatever. So this fancy boat that they have with all this stuff in there, those boats weren't even created. So check that out. These boats weren't even created at that particular time period. And so that's the thing that really made me say, well, oh, wow. And so do you think a person could really survive for like 30 days? I don't know how long they say that the Middle Passage was. That they could really survive because the purpose of them bringing them over here was to be able to sell them as collateral, to make money. So I don't think they would do that, do something to have them like half dead by the time they get over here. Because who can survive 30 days with no food and then laying in your own feces and, and hot, it's hot underneath there and so forth. I mean, so who could have done that? Who could have survived that? So that's what I'm going to say about that. But check that out because, things is getting deeper and deeper. When you get deep into the truth, oh boy, there's some stuff that's coming out that's like saying, oh my God. So because we've been told so many lies, and like, why have we been told these lies? What is about us? So we have to know that we're special. We're the chosen people. We are special. We were the original people, of course. And so why would they even consider even making up all these lies about this stuff? So think about that. So the information that we was given because we just go to school, they say this is what it is, and we just listen to it. Not thinking that, that these people are not against us. These supposed to be our friends, they're supposed to be our teachers, supposed to be our this and that, educators, and so forth. But they have lied to us some serious stuff. And so take some time to figure out what's what for yourself and, like I said, implement those new truths. Make some changes in your life. Start talking differently, eating differently. And I'm not saying talking different, eating different, because this is a whole package. It's a whole package. So we got some people out here that are somewhat kind of conscious and stuff like that. But, but you're still not eating right, or you're still dressing according to the way they say we supposed to dress. You're not being conscious of how a woman's supposed to cover her body. And men are not, men still walk around here with the hat turned back and the bag, the pants sagging. No, because once you become a certain consciousness and you realize that, no, that's not who I am, and then you create who you are. Or having your conversation with the Most High and understand your purpose and know who you are. Then you won't be following those fads. So it's a whole life change you need, not just a partial stuff. Just like when somebody wants to lose weight, they start going to exercise class. They go to exercise class, 3 days a week, working it out. Then they even doing it on Saturdays and so forth. But if they don't have not changed the way that they're eating and their environments and getting sleeping in a healthy way and those type of things, it's not going to make any difference. You may look like you're losing a bit of weight, but it's still going to just come right back because after you go exercise and you go eat, You're just like it's just a cycle. You're just going around. It's just going around in circles, like a mouse on one of those little wheels, just spinning and spinning and spinning, and nothing productive long term is going to be able to come out of it. So when we think about, the stories that we've been told, and, they say that they went over there and civilized us, but, do some research for yourself and find out that we were a civilized people. We lived according to nature. We had a relationship with the Most High, and we understood our purposes in life. That's why when children are born, they're even given a name, and the name has a purpose because they've been given that name to be able to fulfill a certain thing that is needed in the community, or just a certain thing that would be a good thing that would grow up to be able to make a contribution to society. So there was purpose in our lives. This way we're going now, it's just so willy-nilly. We just do whatever. You have a baby, you just make up a name, and like we got people naming their cars Mercedes. We got people naming their cars, Billy Bob. I'm just making up some stuff. We got naming after a certain actor or a certain thing. Colors, and and I ain't saying I'm wrong because actually my daughter's name is Silver. I named her Silver. I just love silver because I think it's a beautiful, precious metal and it has good energy. So I named her Silver. So there's exceptions to the rule. So when I'm just talking in general, and plus I'm not talking about anybody specific. I'm talking just in general. So I don't mean to offend anybody in the things that I'm saying, but it got to be told, When I was young, we used to have this one teacher, Mr. Coleman. Mr. Coleman was a big guy, and he was just as nice and sweet and something. But if you cross Mr. Coleman, boy, his word that he said to you, "I like you fine, but you got to be told." And then he would spank you, because back then they could spank it with rulers, or paddles. They could actually, deal with us that way. They would just smack your hand with a ruler, or they had a paddle. They would beat you behind. And they leave a note for the day. Tell you when you go home, tell your teacher, "Yeah, I spanked your child today." And then of course, after your child tell you, your mama find out what you did. What you did? What? Then Daddy would come home from work, bust that behind. So, but Mr. Coleman was so sweet. But once you reach that thing, he's like, "I like you fine, but you got to be told." And he used to tell us what that truth was and straighten us out, and poof. And then you knew from there not to mess with Mr. Coleman. And you knew that when you come past his classroom or come in his classroom, you knew you had your stuff in order. But anyway, I'm just saying we need to think about, why will all these things happen to us? Why? Because there's something that's in us that we don't need to be told. Because you know for sure, whatever we do, we excel in it. When it comes to running track, we run the fastest. Basketball, we make the most hoops. Swimming, I don't think sometimes we think about, certain things is for white people. But once we do get into it, then we excel in it. Tennis, the sisters start doing tennis, they exceeded. Golf, people say, "Oh, the white people play golf." The brothers start getting into golf, and look, he exceeded. So there is something that's in us that we can excel because we are special, and it's not for you to be vain with it. It's just for you to understand the strength and the power that you come from, and you're not that person that who is lazy, who don't want to work, who is shiftless, who is alcoholics, who are drug addicts, who are people that rob. This image that they put on there. Because why is it that? There's another why. Why is it that when we do wonderful things, they don't put that on TV? They only show us robbing and killing and stealing and doing all the negative stuff. Because we have done some wonderful things. It may be like, I know one time I think a bunch of the class from, the black colleges down in Morehouse, I think almost all the people graduated within a certain class, which is wonderful to have all the people to excel and to graduate and to move on. That's something to talk about. It's something that is good, that would encourage us, to be good examples and so forth. But they don't do that kind of stuff. So what we have to do is we have to be able to give our own acknowledgments and toot our own horns. But once we learn the truth, we can do it because we continue to perpetuate their lies by letting our children go to school and letting them just tell our children whatever they want to tell us at the school. And we're not doing anything at home to back up the information. We're not questioning it. We're not, checking to see, well, what did you learn today? So we have to be able to definitely be involved with our children's education. And we have to tell them the things that we know that are lies and do that. And we have to be able to back that up or our children will be just full of just They would just dumb our children down. That's what the bottom line is. They're going to dumb us down, telling us lies about ourselves, and then we don't have no self-esteem. We're not encouraged to even want to do anything because we think we don't come from nothing. I mean, we got to really, really think about what when these people came over to us, and then I got to stop saying that, because they didn't just come over to us there, because we were everywhere already. We were everywhere. Because there's another story that I've been checking on too, and saying these people that they call Indians or Native Indians, those people are people of color. And I believe, and I'm doing some research, and you can research it for yourself, and I'm going to keep talking about the more that I learn, because I want to, each one teach one, that's us. That's our people. That's black, what we call black people, people of color. And I'm ashamed that I have to use these kind of terms and kind of double talk myself, because I try not to continue to perpetuate these lies and with these names that they call us. But they were us. We were the original people here. They just gave us this name, but they came and they stole information from us. They tried to kill us all, but they gave us blankets when they had smallpox in it, and a lot of people died. But why did they do these things? Because of jealousy and greed. Jealousy and greed. Because we were here, we were civilized. Whether we was in Africa, which is definitely ain't the name of that place either. Whether we was there, we were living a civilized life. Whether we was here on the land of what they call America, and we were living a civilized life, and we lived according to nature. They came, they created this gun thing or knives and stuff, and they came in out of the caves that they came, because they was the ones that was uncivilized. They came out of their caves of being cavemen and uncivilized with no behavior, and they said, okay, well, we want that. Let's see what we can do to take that. And that's what they did. They have colonized everything that they've gone to, and they have destroyed good civilizations, because it's not like we needed them when we were whatever. If the story about when we was in Africa is a true story, we lived as kings and queens. We lived according to nature. Same thing for the so-called Indians that took over, that lived in the land of America. When so-called Columbus said he came here, he didn't come here and find out nothing. People was already here. So again, of course, we know that's a lie. And Columbus, he was a rapist and all that kind of stuff. So that's a whole nother story. But we lived according to nature. We ate off of the land. We grew the land. We respected the land. We were grateful for when it rained, and then we danced. We had such a relationship with the Creator that we danced. Okay, we need some rain because we got some crops going on here. We planted our things according to the moon. I mean, all this stuff that people are kind of bringing about now and saying, but like I said, planting the stuff according to the moon and dealing with nature and that kind of stuff. All they're doing is just unearthing stuff that we did long time ago. No matter where we were, in Belize. They have, they call them the Mayan ruins. But these are pyramids. They're no different than the pyramids that's in, where's the pyramids? In Egypt. And of course they were pilfered, whatever that word is. They were destroyed. They came and they destroyed some of the noses, some of the faces on these monuments and stuff like that. But they are pyramids that we created, because ain't nobody was able to create these big monumental type things except for us. So these people were just greedy and jealous, and they did different things to just kind of come in there and distort the information and try to create something else. And what they did was just that. We lived according to nature. Okay? We used different things to clothe ourselves with. We use different things we use the skins from the animals to clothe ourselves with, and we created things, to do things with our hair. Everything was according to nature, and we were okay with it. And then they created this thing. They came into us, destroyed us, killed us, lied to us, and created this other thing. Because think about this government. Just say if you want to run a business, what you do, you sit down and you get your team together, okay? And then you write down, it's going to go this way, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. That's all this thing is, this government. It's a business. And they created this business about how they was going to manipulate us, and how they was going to get us to believe certain things, how they were going to get us to pay this and pay that and come to them for stuff. Because, when you go visit other countries, and especially countries, tropical countries, and where they have, where the fruits and vegetables are just plentiful. Plentiful, meaning they just continue to produce and produce and produce. There's no way that people here are hungry. You know, and it's unfortunate because we think that we got to go to the supermarket to get stuff that sometimes some of the stuff that grows naturally here, it goes to waste, which is crazy. But before, people wouldn't go to the store to buy stuff. They would just go and just eat off of the land. They would use the things that God had given us to eat off the land. But now we look at that stuff as being uncivilized, or, oh no, they want to go to the grocery store. I think I was telling somebody about, this place, Belize. I love Belize. And I was telling them about Belize, coming to Belize and live off the land, and I was talking about this particular piece of land. It was if they wanted to come and invest, this would be a great investment because, it had fruit trees on it. It was growing. It had a garden vegetable of vegetables and fruits and stuff. And this person told me, don't nobody want to come there and do anything like that. People want to go find out where the supermarket is. And I was telling, that's the dumbest thing that I ever heard. Really? Like you have the land, and you have pineapples, coconuts, papaya, bananas, all these things growing, asparagus, all this stuff growing in your yard. That you wouldn't utilize that. That you would just say, oh no, I'd rather just go to the supermarket and buy it in a can, or buy it already processed. That's the problem that we're so sick, because they've taken the food, because it still grows. I mean, because that's a God-given thing. You can't stop this stuff. It still grows, but then they take it, and because it's not in the places where they live. Like, I'm just using America for instance, that they take it and they process it and put chemicals in it so it can be good for months later and so forth like that. Now, we used to do natural canning, but I'm going to go into that. But I'm doing natural canning and things. But this is just to put it in a can with some stuff in it and chemicals so it can last, so they can go sell it, so it can stay on the shelves for months and months and months. You wouldn't prefer to go to a place and be able to go in your yard to pick some greens and to grab some bananas and a grapefruit. This morning I grabbed a grapefruit off the tree. Oh my gosh, the pink grapefruit! It was so good. I grabbed it and ate it. Because it was good, it was ready. And then bananas. The bananas is ready, so I ate bananas. So you eat according to what is growing currently. But the point I'm trying to make is that, we were civilized, whether we was here or wherever we are. And then these people came and were greedy and jealous. And then they start telling us lies about our things. And one thing I do want to talk about, because I didn't want to go really long. I really wanted to be kind of short today. But think about this. Think about this. And again, thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you for subscribing, to sharing, and leaving comments. Talk black to me, talk black to me, talk black to me. I love to be able to get that to be able to interact with everybody who's listening. So I want to just leave this with a thought, something for you to think about. What other group of people has been given a name as for who you are? So that they have taken us from wherever they did, and and so forth, but they have changed our situation to fit their lies. Because if you meet an Italian person, that person going to tell you, I'm Italian. If you meet a Japanese person, they're going to tell you, I'm Japanese. If you meet a person from Indonesia, they're going to tell you, I'm Indonesian. If you meet a person from Timbuktu, they're going to tell you that they're from Timbuktu. If you meet a Chinese person, they're going to tell you that they're from China. Do you get the drift? Why is it that black people, well, that's just what they're calling us, why is our group of people have to be given a name by the government? Every group of people comes from a mass of land. That's how we are identified. If you're from Jamaica, you say you're born in Jamaica. Even though our people were spread all out, the people of color. If you're from Trinidad, you say I'm Trinidad. If you're from Europe, you're from Paris, you say I'm European. You're from Paris. You're from London. Whatever the place is, a person, human beings are identified by a mass of land. We are the only people that we have been given names by the government. And why is that so? And why did we accept it? Know who you are. I want to cuss, but my grandson here, he's watching me record this video. I don't want to say what I want to say, but you know what I'm saying? Why do we have to be given a name? And don't accept that. I'm just saying from now, if you don't do nothing else but take this piece of information and implement it, if you're writing about yourself, if you're filling out an application, do other. Don't accept the fact that they're calling you African American, they're calling you Negro, calling you black, all this kind of stuff. Don't accept it. And be mindful of yourself when you are talking about yourself and how people don't identify yourselves as that. Unfortunately, they say we come from Africa, but the name of that place, Africa, is not even Africa. It's called a Kabulon. So they even changed that name. That's not even the true name of that. But that landmass at least gives us an identity. Or now, because we're waking up and finding out that we are the indigenous human beings on this earth. The indigenous ones that was the original ones. So identify yourself as in being indigenous. Because most people of color are aborigines or indigenous people, but that's who we are. So we no longer can accept the fact that we're going from being called slaves. We didn't even have no names. We just had numbers. Slaves to Negro, niggas, Afros, Africans, Afro-Americans. That ain't us. What is that? And then the black. Black is a color. We ain't black. Look at me. We ain't black, and they know for sure we come in all sizes, shapes, and colors. So I just want to leave you right there. Think about that. What other race of people are being identified as far as who we are by the government? The government ain't for us. You see, all they want to do is continue to do things to destroy us. Think, my people. It ain't illegal yet. Take hold of information and implement it. Take hold and implement new knowledge, which will allow you to start being on the path of emancipating yourself from mental slavery. I love you. God surely loves you. And I'll see you on the next time. Thanks again. Peace and love.